little slip. You know what? I think it's fine for what it's worth. I like to reiterate the fact that I live a very, very, very dumb life. And I had, it's still Saturday. Well, yeah, it's still Saturday here in Southgate is where I'm at. But in Los Angeles, technically, it's still Saturday. And night one of WrestleMania has concluded about 2 hours ago. And for all it's worth, greatest 4 hours ever. This by far was the best night one of WrestleMania in history. We all like to give crap when something isn't right. But when something goes right and we see something right consistently, we gotta praise it. And this is what we have to do. We need to praise this to the greatest thing ever. We have a lot of shit that we can give Triple H for, but he put night one on top. And night two has such a very hard task to top that. And it's a really solid card too. It started off with the United States title match, which was probably the weakest match on the card. But for all intents and purposes, it was fine. Theory may have won by a low blow and hitting John Cena with the A-Town down. But John looked really good, as usual. Austin looked really good, per usual. Both men gave the opening crowd a nice little buzz before the main real matches took place, and it was just incredible from start to finish. And like I said, minus the low blow, it was fine. It was fine. I'll give it a solid 3 out of 5. And then the night or day, as you could say, or think about, progressed into absolute mayhem and incredible storytelling, and at the same time, just unreal matches. It started with the showcase match, the showcase tag match. Braun Ricochet, Street Profits, Alpha Academy, Viking Raiders, round of a fucking applause. That was an incredible damn match. Man, what a match that was. I have no words to say. I knew when they were given time, if they were given time, they were going to steal the show, and they stole the damn show until somebody else stole the show. And then 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 somebody else stole the show. It started with this match, this chain reaction. And it was just paced so well and had so many great, intricate spots. From big boys, the big beef and the big boys. From Braun, Otis, Ivar, and Dawkins getting the chance in the ring to just showcase for a while. The High Flyers getting the chance to showcase for a while. The strength of people like Otis and Chad Gable, and it was surreal. I didn't expect the Street Profits to win this match, even though I did actually predict them. But they won, and now I think the next contenders for the tag team championships. Per sake. Then there was Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul, for what it's worth, is an incredible wrestler. He's got a lot of skills, a lot of talent to actually be a future guy. Who knows if he's going to resign or not, but for all intents and purposes, Logan Paul can do this, and he did it tonight against Seth Rollins. It was a great match. There was the little funny spots with KSI getting frog splashed to the table, Seth getting knocked out after working on the hand of Logan Paul, which he couldn't capitalize on. And there was moments in time where we thought Seth would lose, but Seth would come back and make a Lacious comeback and hit a curve stomp in order to get the win. It was a great match, for sure. And Logan Paul, if this is the end of his run, round of applause. He had a great 1-year run, and then at the same time, he could do more. He could do more if he wanted to. Who knows? The fourth match, don't know if this was the fourth match. Actually, I think this was the fourth match. Actually, I know the fifth, sixth, and seventh. Actually, because this is where my predictions continue to go on the skyrocket. Becky, Lita, Trish versus Damage Control. Really good match. Very solid 6-woman tag. All 6 ladies did what they had to do. Damage Control lost. Bless me. Damage Control lost, which was fine in the outcome of it. I really don't mind Damage Control losing, and at the same time, Becky, Lita, and Trish. Trish and Lita especially. Keep going. I know you guys are in your 40s turning into 50s, but y'all do not age one bit. Y'all look like y'all can hang for a while and forever. Also, let me put a side note. The 360-degree Tron in SoFi kept messing up a lot, and it was a huge problem that was continuing to pester for like most of the night until it finally cleared up. But it was a problem for a while. It would cut in and out. It cut out during the Cena Theory match, which was an issue. And then it was also an issue for most other matches. For Seth and Logan, we got a chant for, there was a chant going on for Fix the Screen, which is why, you know, a lot of people weren't really tuned in. So mostly what I was doing was just using my eyes, mis ojos, to see ver the ring. So even if it was so tiny, I still just used them to just watch the match from inside the ring. It was a great little, it was just a dumb thing. I think they're gonna fix it for night 2. I hope so, but you know, it's just not bad to be human and actually use your senses. But that's just one thing. Hopefully Damage Control splits, that's all I'll say. Dominic versus Rey Mysterio. The 5th match on the card, and it was a phenomenal match. It was a phenomenal moment. It was a phenomenal set of entrances, very different and unique to the circumstance, which featured Dominic coming out of a police car, a correctional facility car, and Rey Mysterio coming out to Eddie Guerrero on the lowrider with Snoop Dogg. And then the two provided what was a genuine, bona fide, beautifully paced match. Dominic was his arrogant, egotistical heel self. Rey Mysterio, a fighting babyface. Dominic pissed me off most of this match. I think most of my voice was lost because of that match. And it was just incredible. Dominic has turned himself into probably, if not for Roman Reigns, the best heel in WWE. By far. He's got such great heat that's not go-away heat. It's fiery, emotional-filled heat where fans just want to punch and strain his damn jaw for the things that he's done. And it's perfectly worked out so well. When the moment he stepped out of the ring to throw water at his sister, I'm like, you prick. I really was like, genuinely, I was so upset. And I was sitting up in the 300 level. I was sitting up in the VIP section. And I'm like, I wanted to run down there and wanted to slap him in the face, but it was fun. And Rey Mysterio got his revenge, even though Damian Priest and Finn Balor tried to interfere. Legado del Fantasma, the new Latino World Order, came out and helped him. And Rey Mysterio won with a 619 Frog Splash combo. It was great. It was a great moment. Mysterio, Rey getting to celebrate his win. I thought Dominic was going to win. That was the first prediction I've had wrong out of 5 so far in this 6 matches. 4, really? I was 4 or 5 in that moment, and I really didn't care because I genuinely enjoyed that moment. Speaking of genuinely enjoying moments, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. Not Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship. God damn it. Best women's match probably of the year so far. And we haven't even had Bianca versus Asuka yet. This is probably the best women's match I've watched since 2021. Yes, I'm going that far back to Bianca versus Sasha Banks. It's the best women's wrestling match I've seen since that period. It was just awesome. Charlotte gets a lot of lack for her lack of in-ring skills at times, for not being compared or better than Becky, Bayley, and Sasha in the Four Horsewomen. She's the best of the four, by far. You get the best matches from her, or the worst matches from her. But when she's on, nobody touches her. Rhea Ripley has been the hottest thing in WWE since joining the Judgment Day. And this was a freaking fight. So hard fought from start to finish. You didn't know whether it was going to go one way or whether it was going to go another. But once it got to the top rope and Charlotte tried to hit a move, Rhea countered, hit her head off the post, knocked Charlotte out, and then hit the top mid rope riptide to win. The jubilation I had for Rhea Ripley, because I'm a massive Rhea Ripley fan. If anything, I'm probably one of the biggest Rhea Ripley fans there is. I just don't own any merchandise of her, but I literally will shout her out if I could on pretty much everything. She is phenomenal. I have followed her since her NXT UK days, even since the Mae Young Classic, the first one. She has been top notch. Best character, best wrestler, best female athlete I've watched in years. And she's charismatic. She's got mic skills for ages. She's so complex when it comes to her character changes. She can be a good face. She can be a very good heel. And her winning the SmackDown Women's Championship, redeeming herself on the grandest stage in Los Angeles, in the SoFi. It was perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect. It was a great little tease with the figure 8. And there was also a good riptide kick out at one point where Rhea was just snapped. Natural selection. It was back and forth, just like the WrestleMania 36 match, but with the right outcome. I didn't mind Charlotte winning at that moment, though, in 36. But Charlotte had to lose tonight, and I'm glad that she did lose. And we got a new SmackDown Women's Champion in the form of Rhea Ripley. And then finally, if you thought emotions were high already after that, the emotions got even higher in the main event. But first, Pat freaking McAfee, my dude. That was a nice little surprise. I wasn't expecting that, but not a lot of fans are tuned into it, obviously. And then we had George Kittle, best tight end in the NFL by far. Again, not a lot of fans are tuned into it because it's WWE, it's not the NFL. And The Miz tried to do his little Miz stuff and try to get out of the open challenge, but he couldn't. So it turned out to work against WWE more so than for. But I was glad to see Pat McAfee. I popped huge for him, and I'm glad that he won. He got his win back at Mania, so that was a good thing. And it wasn't bad seeing George Kittle go out there and do George Kittle things, because George Kittle is a beast. He's a dog, and he's going to do what he does best. And then, finally, the main event. And I talk about great main events, the rightful main event. There are good main events, and there are great main events. There are great main events, and then there are over-the-top phenomenal main events. This was the best main event in wrestling history. I said it. The Bloodline storyline has been phenomenal. But also, the characters involved, the wrestlers involved are phenomenal. The Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn KO and Sammy, two guys that faced off against each other on numerous occasions on the same stage last year. One was in the main event with Stone Cold Steve Austin. The other one was getting pinned on a mousetrap. The year prior, faced off against each other on the grandest stage in front of fans for the first time in over a year. The Usos have always been pre-show fodder to opening the show, and then now for the first time in their careers on the grandest stage to close the show. It's perfect. The tag team match itself, it's perfect. I don't have no words. I have no words and no complaints about how that match went down. All I'm gonna say is tears. Literal tears came from my eyes when I witnessed the 3 count with KO and Sammy winning the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. I was so happy. I was so jubilated. I've watched these two guys for 10 years, nearly 10 years. I've watched some of their old stuff, little bits, not a lot of it. I followed them ever since they were in NXT. I followed them on the main roster. They've had such different journeys. And for those two to be standing in that ring as tag team champions, chef's kiss. It almost brings a tear back to my eye again, just talking about it, because that's how great it was. See, wrestling is a lot of things, but wrestling is all about the emotion. If you can feel, you can love, just like how you feel and love someone in real life. You can feel and love this. It was everything. It was magical. It was perfect. And I would not change a single thing about it. And that was WrestleMania Night 1. And now we go on to WrestleMania Night 2 and finish off possibly what's right now looking like the best WrestleMania of all time at this moment. We'll see what Night 2 provides. But right now, 1 second. I've been your WWE champion, Mr. Modge Wrestles, with no voice and cold as hell because he had to wait about 2 hours to get back to the hotel. Peace. I'll see you all soon for Night 2 with this baby coming right with me. Look at this baby. We're going to WrestleMania. That's right. You and me. You and me. You and me. Yep. We're both going to Mania. Night, bud. Night, everybody. Peace.